The following is a conversation between Matías De Stefano, referred to as me, and his higher self, referred to as I am. The date is January 12th, 2021, and the subject is the emotional aspect of the third eye chakra in the sign of Capricorn. I am. What do you project to the world? What are your projects? Everything you do to the world is projected from you. Your projects are born from your need to project yourself. Are you sincere with what you project? Me. What is a project? I am. From the word PROYECTOS, originated from the concepts pro, meaning forward, and iacere, to launch, plus the adjective suffix us. It means what is thrown forward. Me. Like a projectile. I am. In the universe, everything arises from the mind, which generates an idea, and that idea seeks to manifest itself, and the way to do it is by expressing itself from the inside out. That is, from a human perspective, the being moves forward. We call this projecting. All projection is the action of rushing forward, moving, advancing, expanding, evolving. After millions of tests, of practices, the projections go from being a vibration to being energy, and the energy converts the projection into matter. That is to say that in human terms, the universe is projected at the mental level, and from there it is projected to the emotional level, and from there to the physical. All that exists is a projection. It is a continuous movement that generates evolution through the projection of the original idea. Me. And in matter, it becomes an attribute of being. I am. The mental projection of a preconceptual perception on an expectation generates the emotional projection on the polarized distortion that you will call duality. And it is this polarity that in its interaction is recognized as capable of projecting in matter what interacts in the soul, becoming an attribute of himself, emerging the project. Me. Wait, this paragraph is as simple as it is complex. Let's go in parts. I am. I start again. The mental projection of a preconceptual perception on an expectation. When you have an idea about something, it is nothing more than your own perception of it from previous experiences, and therefore you place an expectation on what you observe you can do. For example, someone who observes a cloudy sky and knows that when it gets cloudy, it rains. He expects that the results will always be the same and that the water will fall in the form of drops. It generates the emotional projection on the polarized distortion that you will call duality. In summary, and following its simple example, seeing the cloudy sky activates preconceived emotions in relation to the rain that can swing between melancholy, sadness, and discomfort if the rain is related to internalization situations in your life, or joy, fun, and expansion if it's related to positive moments in your life. And it is this polarity that, in its interaction, is recognized as capable of projecting in matter what interacts in the soul. The reactions you have, depending on your emotion before the cloudy sky, will lead you to plan the day, how to dress, cancel or schedule activities, etc. Becoming an attribute of himself, the project emerging. That is, it is the same person who, instead of doing something outwardly, becomes his own activity, dressing, advancing, moving, transforming, and therefore, what before was an idea is now a fact. He put on his boots, took his umbrella, and went for a walk towards some meeting. Me. In other words, the soul is the project of the spirit, and the body is the project of the soul. I am. That's right. And life is the project of the body. Everything is a projection in the universe, and therefore everything has the attribute of projection. Me. This reminds me of that idea that we are a holographic experiment of superior consciousness. Is it so? I am. Sure. Your problem is that you see it through the eyes of duality, thinking that higher and lower consciousnesses are different individuals, when in reality, talking about them is like talking about a brain and a liver, a higher and a lower consciousness, both indispensable parts of the same organism. Me. Sure, they need each other. They are not separate, nor do they control the other, but they interact in different states. I am. You are the projection of your body. Your body is the projection of your soul. Your soul is the projection of your spirit, and your spirit is the projection of the cosmos, just as the cosmos is the projection of the original idea. Therefore, in each level, you find the experiment, in other words, the experience of the previous plane. If the soul is a spiritual projection, it means that the spirit seeks to experience itself through the soul, which leads us to understand that the soul is an experiment of the spirit, that is, a spiritual project. The same thing happens with each level. Your life is an experiment. It is a project, and when you project, you generate new experiences to discover yourself. Tell me, what do you project? Me. How do I know what I project in life? I am. Well, think about your projects. Me. In other words, if I look at my life projects, I will be able to know what I project of myself to the world. I am. That's right. Me. And what about those who don't have projects? I am. Everyone has projects. Maybe they are not big, they are small, but they are projects. Some have joint projects, others individual. Others live other people's projects. Others consider that having a date is a project. Others consider it a project to make a good meal. Others to create a social revolution. You? Me. Me. My project today is yosoy, and I have never been so at the center of my life. Since 2015 I have been planning this project, but it always failed. I am. Why? Me. Because I realized that the place from where I was projecting it wasn't the best. I wasn't being myself. I was wanting to cover too many things, with too many people, making plans that were too forced. Every week I made a new itinerary. I changed the way I did it, with people, without people, with crowdfunding, paying for it with my trips with people, making a documentary, flying around the world by plane, looking for sponsors. All my focus was on the how, and the real focus was what. And that was what led me to the who, and from there to the where and the how. The path was the other way around. I am. Everything you do as projects only work when you become them. This is why the rest that you have in mind will not flourish yet, because it is not vibrating in you yet. You cannot project it because the idea is not yet formed. The Capricorn mind will seek to plan everything in the long term for many years, making hundreds of plans or their options, but they will all fail if you don't become the project. Me, that is the problem. Everything I have projected, I have done from the ego, not from the essence. That is to say, when I leave my life projects in the hands of my personality, denying the feeling of my soul, the reason of my spirit, the communion with the cosmos, no matter how hard I try, I will not obtain results, because I will be building on a swamp. I must connect with the project of my soul, with that of my spirit, and from there feel the coherence projected to me. But how do I do it? I am. The first project that every human must take into account is to build himself. First, know the history of your body, your family tree, family, ancestors, traumas, gifts, events, human history, biology. Second, Know the history of your soul, locked emotions, pleasures, wills, loves, past lives. Third, know the truth of your spirit, Akashic records, Kundalini, ayahuasca, meditation, travel to new places, reading and study. Fourth step, look for the concordance between all of this, the connection points. Fifth, observe in your life what of all this you put into your projects for the future on a physical, emotional, and mental level. This way you will identify what you project to the world and from where. What do you project? Me. My great life project is the I am, because everything I do for myself, for my growth, for my discovery. I care a lot about enjoying myself, having fun, and I project that into the adventures of my projects. But I also project confusion many times, because I know that inside me there is still the fight between the spiritual revolutionary and the educational hermit. One trying to do great things and leave a mark in the social, spiritual world, making a difference towards another level of planetary consciousness, and the other wanting to find a house in the mountains and see as few people as possible, living in peace and educating from time to time when you want to get out of the cave. I am. What are your projects? Me. At a planetary and collective level, it is the I am and the ontocracy. The first is what I am doing, sharing my discovery of the I am with the aim of making it useful for the conscious network and its manifestation on a global level. The second is to be able to manifest a useful social system for the age of Aquarius, without spiritual projection or anything, but simply useful for the evolutionary development of humanity on a social level. And on a personal level, I think it's being able to have my own space to live, write my books, manage to make a movie, and in a way I'm doing all of it, so I feel complete and accomplished as I walk. This year I've realized that I'm doing everything I expected to do, but I'll try to do things wrong since I don't intend to die soon. I am. Relax. There are still things to do. Do you consider then that you are sincere with what you project? Me. This maybe now I say yes, but I should think about it more. How do I know if I'm sincere? I am. Well, there is a way. For whom do you do what you do? Me. My projects? For me. I'm sure that what I do for my own well-being, my own stability, my own security. I am. So now you know you're sincere. There are different ways to identify it, since the I can be understood as the I am. Are you looking then to create these projects so that the world obtains benefit and you do not expect anything in exchange for it? Me. I'm honest. I do expect something in return. You know, I remember the lives in which I gave everything for the world, and I learned that it had nothing to do with the truth. Being a martyr, a servant of the world, does not make you more enlightened. It is not what you do, but how you do it. And I am sincere about it. In this life, I will not do service unless said service is in balance with making me feel good and having a good time on this earth. But even so, I do not close myself to the service, because I know that I came to give everything that is in me for this world that I love. But I will not be a martyr of this world, not again. I am. That your projects do not project onto others, and that the projections of others do not turn you into their projects. It is difficult to avoid, although there is only one way to do it. Me. Recognizing that I am my own project. I am your projection. Me. I am your project.